In Kenya today, agribusiness is no longer just about survival farming. It has become one of the most powerful ways to build wealth, create jobs, and achieve financial independence. Many young people and experienced entrepreneurs are now turning to agriculture not because they have no other option, but because they see real opportunity. With the rising population, increasing demand for food, and better access to technology, farming has transformed into a smart business that can generate millions of Kenyan shillings every year. If you look closely at the Kenyan economy, you will notice that agriculture supports millions of households. From rural villages to urban outskirts, people are finding ways to turn small pieces of land into profitable ventures. What makes agribusiness even more attractive is that you do not always need a huge amount of capital to start. With proper planning, knowledge, and consistency, even a small investment can grow into a large and successful enterprise. One of the most promising agribusiness ideas in Kenya is avocado farming. Over the past few years, avocados have become one of the most valuable export crops. The demand for avocados in international markets continues to rise because people are becoming more health conscious. Countries in Europe and the Middle East are buying large quantities of avocados from Kenya, and this demand is expected to keep growing. Starting an avocado farm requires patience, but the rewards are worth it. When you plant good quality seedlings, especially the Hass variety, the trees begin to produce fruits after about 2 to 3 years. As the trees mature, they can produce hundreds of fruits each season. If you have just 1 acre of land, you can plant between 100 and 150 trees, depending on spacing. Once the trees reach full production, it is possible to earn between 300,000 Kenyan shillings and 1 million Kenyan shillings per year from that 1 acre. The key to success in avocado farming is proper management. You need to ensure that the trees receive enough water, especially during dry seasons. You also need to protect them from pests and diseases. Joining a farmers' cooperative can help you access better markets and stable prices. Export markets usually pay higher prices compared to local markets, so it is important to aim for quality production that meets export standards. Another highly profitable agribusiness idea is poultry farming. This is one of the fastest ways to start earning money because chickens grow quickly and begin producing eggs within a few months. Poultry farming is suitable for both rural and urban areas, and it can be started with a small number of birds and expanded over time. There are 2 main types of poultry farming: layers for egg production and broilers for meat production. Layers are a good choice if you want a steady daily income. A single layer chicken can produce around 250 to 300 eggs in a year. If you keep 1,000 layers, you can produce hundreds of eggs every day. With proper feeding and management, this can translate into a monthly income of over 150,000 Kenyan shillings. Broiler farming, on the other hand, focuses on raising chickens for meat. Broilers grow very fast and can be ready for sale within 6 to 8 weeks. This means you can have several production cycles in a year, allowing you to earn money more frequently. The demand for chicken meat is very high in towns and cities, especially in hotels, restaurants, and households. To succeed in poultry farming, you must pay close attention to feeding and hygiene. Good quality feed helps the chickens grow faster and produce more eggs. Clean housing reduces the risk of diseases, which can wipe out your entire flock if not controlled. It is also important to have a reliable market before you expand your production. Dairy farming is another agribusiness that has proven to be very profitable in Kenya. Unlike many other businesses, dairy farming provides daily income. Every day you can sell milk and earn money, which makes it easier to manage your finances and meet your daily needs. A good dairy cow can produce between 15 and 30 liters of milk per day, depending on the breed and feeding. If milk is sold at an average price, this can generate a significant amount of income every month. For example, 1 cow can bring in between 30,000 and 80,000 Kenyan shillings per month under good management. What makes dairy farming even more attractive is the opportunity for value addition. Instead of selling raw milk, you can process it into products like yogurt, butter, and cheese. These products often fetch higher prices and can increase your profits. In addition, there is always a strong demand for milk in both rural and urban areas, making it a stable business. However, dairy farming requires commitment and proper care. Cows need good nutrition, clean water, and regular veterinary care. You also need to ensure that your cows are kept in a clean and comfortable environment. Investing in good breeds such as Friesian or Ayrshire can greatly improve your production and income. Greenhouse farming is another modern agribusiness idea that is gaining popularity in Kenya. This method involves growing crops in a controlled environment, which allows you to produce high yields even on a small piece of land. Greenhouses are commonly used to grow crops like tomatoes, capsicum, and cucumbers. One of the biggest advantages of greenhouse farming is that it protects crops from harsh weather conditions and pests. This leads to higher quality produce and better yields compared to traditional open farming. For example, a single greenhouse measuring 8 meters by 15 meters can produce crops worth between 200,000 and 500,000 Kenyan shillings per cycle. Greenhouse farming also allows you to grow crops throughout the year, regardless of the season. This means you can take advantage of high prices during off-peak periods when supply is low. With proper planning, you can have multiple harvests in a year, increasing your overall income. To succeed in greenhouse farming, you need to invest in the right equipment, such as drip irrigation systems. You also need to use high-quality seeds and monitor your crops regularly for pests and diseases. Although the initial cost of setting up a greenhouse can be high, the returns can be very rewarding if the business is managed well. Fish farming is another agribusiness idea that many people are now exploring. Although it is not as common as other types of farming, it has great potential for growth. Fish, especially tilapia and catfish, are in high demand because they are a healthy source of protein. Starting a fish farm involves constructing ponds and stocking them with fingerlings. With proper feeding and management, the fish grow to market size within 6 to 8 months. A single pond can produce over 1,000 fish per cycle, which can generate significant income depending on market prices. One of the reasons why fish farming is becoming popular is that it requires relatively less space compared to other types of farming. It can also be combined with other activities, such as crop farming, to maximize the use of resources. For example, water from fish ponds can be used to irrigate crops, creating a more efficient farming system. However, fish farming requires careful management of water quality and feeding. Poor water conditions can lead to fish deaths, which can result in losses. It is important to learn the basics of fish farming before starting, and to seek advice from experts if needed. Choosing the right agribusiness depends on several factors. First, you need to consider your budget. Some businesses, like greenhouse farming, require higher initial investment, while others, like poultry farming, can be started with less capital. Second, you need to consider your location. The climate and soil conditions in your area will determine which crops or livestock are suitable. Market access is also very important. Before starting any agribusiness, you should identify who will buy your products. Having a ready market reduces the risk of losses and ensures that your products are sold quickly. It is also important to invest in knowledge and training. Learning modern farming techniques can greatly improve your productivity and profits. Agribusiness in Kenya offers a real opportunity for anyone who is willing to put in the effort. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but with patience, hard work, and smart planning, it can generate millions of Kenyan shillings over time. Many successful farmers started small and gradually expanded their businesses as they gained experience and confidence. The future of agriculture in Kenya is bright. With increasing demand for food, better technology, and growing support from both the government and private sector, agribusiness is set to become even more profitable. Whether you choose avocado farming, poultry farming, dairy farming, greenhouse farming, or fish farming, the key is to start, learn, and grow. If you take the first step today and remain consistent, you can build a successful agribusiness that not only supports your lifestyle, but also creates opportunities for others. Agriculture is no longer just a tradition. It is a modern business that has the power to transform lives and build lasting wealth in Kenya.